I've come here to talk about what's going on outside and to see what you feel about meeting me and talking about your attitudes towards what I feel. A lot of time we've been spending it at house without schools, and you know the reason why. And because they were shot, and we didn't have much time to study the things you studied. So we had to cross 2 years and 1 year, and that's much different.
Yes, but I also think that our activities are sometimes different. I mean, I don't go with my friends and throw stones at soldiers.
How could you? How would you? I mean, why? Because you're living in a state. You're not occupied. We are.
Yes, but I still, even if I were occupied, I don't think I would do these things.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's brutal. This is 2 years after I was there, by the way. Like, this is really close. And this was also 2 years after the first Intifada. That's what this is happening about. And that was somewhat violent.
I mean, I don't want to be stereotypical, but it looks like every one of those women is from the North Shore of Long Island.
Or they're from South Florida. I'm telling you. Like, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
And the idea that somebody could be so callous and disregard the humanity of a Palestinian right to their face, basically saying, oh, being occupied is not that big of a deal. And if I was occupied, I certainly wouldn't. Again, the argument about throwing stones at soldiers that are trying to scare you to death. It's a slow death. That's what it is. You can see the contempt, especially this one. I mean, it gets worse, but the contempt
that's what I see. I see complete and utter white supremacy and like a level of caucasity that this white lady is sitting there and telling the indigenous person that even if she were the oppressed one, that's like back during slavery, say, well, even if I were enslaved, I wouldn't act like that. Are you friggin' for real?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Continue, Colin, please.
In order to solve it.
You don't live the situation we are living. You don't see soldiers killing people. You never had your brother arrested, have you? Have you ever seen him bleeding? Have you ever seen him beaten up? And he's a small kid. Why? Because he wants land, wants a government? I mean, this is not a good situation. It's not good. You don't feel good. I don't think you feel good. This is.
Maybe ruler wants to find the solution. I didn't hear, per se, but I'm sure there are other Palestinian kids who want this situation to continue. And showing, the situation this way, I don't think it's very fair, because then you give with you and your country the only choice of sympathizing with ruler and not with us. See?
We have 21 Arab states. Okay, and they're ready to take Palestinians there. But why don't we live in our land? Why should strangers come and kick us out and stay in our land, and we should find another state? Why?
We're not strangers.
What, our cousins?
We believe it's our land like you believe it's yours. We can live together.
Okay. Live together? You're blaming me for throwing stones because I want...
Colin, thank you. We believe it's our land.
Yeah.
We believe it's our land, not it is our land. No, we decided that it belongs to us, and we are going to subjugate you to apartheid or mass murder to get what we want. And they say it so flippantly. That's the tragedy of this. And this is 36 years ago.
Yeah.
What's changed? I'll tell you what's changed. It's gotten worse. It's even worse now than it was then. I don't ever recall seeing anything like this. The closest I think we've seen would be Hamza doing those videos.
And yet I can completely picture when I was in Israel in the high school in Israel program, I could completely picture me being one of those girls. Like this is so typical. And yet I realize that it's shocking for people. And yet to me, this is so typical of that mindset that we had. But the fact that people now with access to information have not adjusted that mindset, that's the willful ignorance part. Because I will say that in '89, you had just a couple of years ago was the first Intifada. A lot of the information that has been released since 2000 had not been released yet. And a lot of people really had no way of knowing that they'd been lied to for their whole lives yet. So I get it. But yeah, how they're talking is pretty typical.
Go ahead, Colin.
Want to live.
And you're blaming us that we're killing your family. You see, we cannot live like this when everybody hates each
You
other
can't
and
kill for
blaming each
peace. You
other.
can't kill for peace. This is a silly reason. You can't kill for peace.
We're not killing for peace, we're killing for our existence.
As you see, I'm a Palestinian, far away from you. And I've come here to talk.
We're killing for our existence. Seems pretty disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so infuriating to me because that really does remind me of me. Like that's who we were. We were in Israel thinking that it's ours. And I'm never going to get over that. I'm never going to get over that. But the fact that people are doing it now is just, yeah.
And you know that those women, that any of them that ended up having children, and you know in a lot of those communities they're encouraged to have several children, that they absolutely passed that same belief system on to their kids. That's
yeah. Well, it's everything that they say about Palestinians is what they do. So they're the ones, whenever you hear their vitriolic speech about how the Palestinians raise their children to hate Jews and that they're indoctrinated since birth and all of those things, that's what they do. That's how they think. So it's very common. By the time you're, whatever age, teenager age and, early 20s, you truly believe this. I mean, this is like when we had Casey Malone on and we were talking about like when you're indoctrinated, you don't know any different.
Not only do you not know any different, but you do not allow in outside voices. And I always thought that was very telling.
But to keep it out now, that's the thing. Okay, so that's easy to do before social media when you live in insulated communities. That's easy to do, to keep out the outside voices, which is why it's almost excusable for people who were raised in that and don't know any better, because you don't have that. But to be that now, when the information is there and you have access to it and you're purposefully not looking at it, is a whole different level. So I will claim that, again, there are people that are actually ignorant, and then there's people that are willfully ignorant. And that is also very much defined by privilege. It is generally white privileged people that choose to be ignorant. And that's just that they get to live in their privileged little bubble and they want it how they want it.
And they get extremely volatile and violent the second they sense that somebody is not agreeing with what they believe, that somehow their worldview is 100% correct, and that there is no inward view on that ideology. Can't possibly be wrong. When you are told from birth that you are the chosen people, this is what happens. It's much worse than I think we thought, because now it's just so wide open. They were much better about being covert about their actions for such a long time. Now it's completely overt, and it's almost like they're going for broke.
Yes.
Like you said,
yeah.